So the EU has a thing called the GDPR, which is the General Data Privacy Regulation, and also there is the California Consumer Privacy Act, which I'm guessing is for California, which is in the United States, that basically suggests that your Twitch username and the things that you say, you can basically ask to get things removed if you want to. It's like basically protections for people who want to remove their data from the interwebs. California confirmed. Yeah, I do have the article. So this is the art. Oh wait, you guys can't see what I'm showing. Ha, that's funny. You guys can't see what I was showing. So yeah, this is the article, and then these are the tweets here. So co-tweeted. So someone asked, Wolfgang actually, who's from our community too, asked, do you think that you would ever consider adding chat in the streams you upload to your YouTube channel? I really miss experiencing your streams with chat and seeing they react when I can't make it to a stream. If it's not okay, just thought I would ask. And then Ko said, due to privacy laws in the EU and even some states here in the USA, we are not able to have any chat on screen in the recorded footage. We'd love to be able to, but we have to play it safe here. Which caused a lot of confusion because, again, like a lot of people had not heard of this. And he followed up and said, quick update here. The legal bit here is a very gray area. Also having to legally remove requested chat if identity is proven, etc. I'm having another lawyer do a deep dive on this stuff and we'll update here when I have more info. But yeah, still staying away from it for now. Yeah, and like everyone that replied was like, what? What is this? So then there was this statement released by Morrison Rothman, written by Noah Downs and Wileen Liu, and basically they talked about the issue that's happening. On-screen chat has become a staple of most Twitch streams. Let me zoom in here for you guys. As the just chatting category has exploded into the mainstream, but given the surge in privacy laws around the globe, and specifically the European Union's General Data Privacy Regulation, GDPR, and the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, is it legally safe for broadcasters to share their chats live? From our perspective, and without going to specific viewership demographics, while a broadcaster's actual risk of being fined is not very high, given the risk reward of having on-screen chat, it does not seem worth the risk. TLDR, at the end of the day, are determinations that you should comply with the GDPR and likely the CCPA, so to be safe, you should keep chat off screen. Here's why. The GDPR applies if broadcaster is storing or collecting any personal data of EU residents. Given the global reach of Twitch, it's safe to say that many members of chat are likely EU residents. Do we have any Europeans in chat? A Twitch handle would be considered personal data since it can be linked to a specific individual, and therefore displaying on an EU resident's Twitch handle on a recorded stream would constitute storing and collecting personal data of EU residents. What? Sam Adams, my forehead is huge and beautiful. What are you talking about? EU here? Okay, if you're from EU, you're all banned. No, I'm just kidding. While the CCPA would not necessarily apply to all broadcasters, it would apply if a broadcaster has either 1, a gross annual revenue of more than 25 million, or 2, if that broadcaster is receiving the personal information of 50,000 or more California residents, households, or devices. Many of the largest broadcasters on Twitch would fit this description and are likely subject to CCPA. I do not meet this. I mean, yes, I do. I make $25 million a year, obviously. I'm from Europe, but not in the EU. Do I win? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, this part doesn't really apply to most of us. Oh, you guys, don't ban Sam Adams. God, you guys never let me play with trolls anymore. Why you guys have to keep chat nice and welcoming and friendly? Ugh. Ugh. I need entertainment. I need content. How am I supposed to do one of those, you know, those react videos that get viral if I can't, like, shut anyone down? I'm gonna have to make some up. You guys are gonna have to pretend to insult me. Ugh. How would you know about 50,000 California residents? I would say if you're making more than 25 million, or you're up there and you have tens of thousands of viewers, you're probably close. Like, you'd have to be really pretty big. The top of the top. Maybe he's here to sponsor you with a beer. Yeah, you never know. Again, if a streamer removes chat, then Twitch still autoplays it in the VOD. So I'll explain the situation. I'll explain. So basically, the idea is that if you are from the EU and you want to, you could basically say, hey, to a streamer, like, hey, I want to protect my info, and you have to delete anything I've said in that appears on stream. So this isn't for a live chat circumstance. This isn't like, this is if you're showing chat on your screen and it becomes a part of your VOD and you're keeping those VODs, right? So for the most part, even if you have chat on screen, if those VODs aren't being stored, then it's not really a problem. Now, if you upload those to YouTube and they're there, you're archiving VODs, like you have playthroughs and stuff, then it becomes kind of like a situation. But I don't know what you, as an EU resident, you would have to do to enforce it, like to execute it. Like, you'd have to prove some link to your identity. I don't know, it's kind of bizarre to me, because to me, like, a Twitch chat username, a Twitch username is anonymous. Like, unless you'd have to dox yourself. Yeah, like, you'd have to prove that Twitch name is you and that there has been personal info. I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to basically dox yourself, and then the streamer would have had to store the chat in which you've done that. I'd find it an honor to be on screen in someone's YouTube video. Well, Raven, I'll have you know that you'll probably end up in this one. What's up, Air9? How you doing? You only have that right if it can be used to identify you. If no one can connect your username to an email, it's not personal information. So yeah, I think, like, I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I don't know if that was obvious to you guys, but would that go for alerts too? I guess technically. Okay, so let's continue here and let's see if we can get a better idea of what's happening. I want to try to get Noah, who co-wrote this article, onto the show this week so that he can talk about it a little bit more in depth. Because admittedly, this is definitely over my head, but let's keep reading, check out what this says. The GDPR only allows the processing of data if that data processing has a valid lawful basis, which can include any one of 6 reasons. Number 1, consent. The individual has given clear consent to process their personal data for a specific purpose. Which, isn't that like the acceptance of terms of service and privacy policy on Twitch itself? I don't know. That's a thought. Contract. If the processing is necessary or required by a contract with the individual, or if the processing results after the individual has asked to take specific steps before entering into a contract. 3, legal obligation. The processing is necessary to comply with the law. 4, vital interest. If the processing is necessary to protect someone's life. 5, public task. If the processing is necessary to perform a task in the public interest or for official functions, and the task or function has a clear basis in law. 6, legitimate interest. If the processing is necessary for legitimate interests, unless there is a good reason to protect the individual's personal data which overrides those legitimate interests. Here is a difficult stretch to justify that recording or playing on-screen chats would fall under any of the other 6. A broadcaster may try to argue that there is a legitimate interest, but then would have to identify 1, the purpose, 2, whether or not recording and storing this data is necessary to that purpose, and 3, a specific justification that this legitimate interest is not overridden by the individual's interests, rights, or freedom. Each broadcaster may have different risk tolerance. How likely is it that the broadcaster will be noticed and fined by regulatory agencies for sharing recordings with on-screen chat history? How likely is it that someone will request to remove their Twitch handle from the recording of the chat history? However, the safest route for broadcasters, and especially broadcasters with large audience sizes, is to remove the on-screen chat from their streams and keep it other VODs and other recordings. Again, I will say that if you're not storing these VODs, like Twitch naturally will store your VODs for anywhere from usually 2 weeks to a month and a half-ish, I think, or 2 months for partners. If you're not saving the VODs outside of that, then again, not legal advice, I'm not a lawyer, but my opinion would be like, you're fine, don't worry about it. Even for me, I'm not worried about it. Like, and I do store some of our videos on YouTube and stuff. But I think that the risk is for me, especially my size, my audience size, is so low. And also the like managing something like this would be honestly pretty easy because we don't actually have a lot of videos that have chat in them. It's mostly our Twitch discussions. I don't know, General Vicious. He has a really smart team of people, so I'm sure someone brought it up. It seems like Twitch could get around this with a clear consent statement in a TOS. So that's what Co asked about in another tweet. He said, hey, Twitch support, bit of a real legal talk here. Could you make it part of your TOS that making an account on the site makes the user agree that if the username is shown / spoke on a stream, that the user is okay with this and that it would fall outside privacy stuff. You could blur a person's name pretty easily too. Yeah. Like, would it be tedious if they talked a lot? Yeah, it'd be a little tedious, but for someone of my size, it's definitely not a concern, really. But for Co, who's got 10,000 viewers, that's an impossible task to try to manage. So I can understand why he wouldn't want to do that. If I'm understanding these policies properly, and I hate to say I think I am, if someone decided down the road they didn't want people to know their username tipped sub to a channel, the streamer would have to go through the VODs and delete the name. Is that right? I think there's still obviously a lot of questions here about like even like I mean this is the opinion of a law firm, is that this is a thing that could happen, that people could enforce. But yeah, I think like if you're a small streamer, if you're a smaller streamer, like if you don't have like 1,000+ viewers, like I'm not really too concerned about this. Because then it's also like, it's something that you'd have to be like, it'd have to be enforced on you too if you didn't comply. It's like a subset of a subset of a subset where it would be a problem.
A. Dan Jones, I'm going to punch you in the face.
What's up, Dan? How you doing? Just changing TOS seems to be way too simple to actually be the solution. What's up, Omni? How's it going? So I think I don't know, I don't remember where I saw this discussion, but changing TOS wouldn't be the solution since you could change your mind and the law would kick it anyways. Yeah, I think that the GDPR overrides, like you can't just craft a TOS that says you don't have this right anymore. I don't think that you can form a TOS that would get around this. But again, it would you would have to prove that the username is connected to you and it is a privacy violation and like that you'd want to remedy. So you'd have to so if I was like, hey, what's everyone's email address or something like that could be a problem. But I think just on usernames alone, like literally the point of usernames is the idea of anonymity, you know? So how can you say that having a username isn't a private thing? Like that's literally the concept of a username. Of course, if your username was like your real name, then I mean, you know, that's probably as obvious as it gets. Bye, chef. Take care. Use case here would be that if I, as a user, were spending time in a prominent broadcaster's chat and they turned out to be a piece of garbage that exploited people for nefarious reasons, I would reasonably want to eliminate all association that would be available. That makes sense. In theory, you have to verify yourself, passport copy, and tie it to your screen name, etc. Gambling sites do this so it ties to your identity. That makes sense. Someone who donates and exposes their name via PayPal could state that creates a connection. But it doesn't actually connect to your username because you can, I mean, at least in my channel, you can put whatever you want as the username, you know? You can put Blobby if you want. Blobby McBurger or whatever that thing is. You can put someone else's name too. So, I mean, yeah, you'd have to use your name, but then you'd have to prove that that was connected. Again, another step. So yeah, I think it's something to be aware of. I think it's important for every streamer to be aware of this. Like every legal aspect is something that's important to a streamer. Yeah, okay, so Frostbite, like that would be something that you could actually do something about. This could be far more reaching as well. Like comments on YouTube videos, there are usernames there too, but never heard people bringing up issues about GDPR on YouTube. I mean, this isn't becoming like, let me be clear. This is not becoming a thing on Twitch. It's not like a streamer is experiencing a GDPR enforcement right now. Like that to me, I think is unheard of at this stage. This is basically being extra precautious, finding a potential risk, discussing it on Twitter. That creates a whole discussion on streamer Twitter. And then, you know, getting lawyers involved to analyze it further and add their, you know, professional commentary on the situation. So this isn't like this is happening, but this is something that could happen for sure. I mean, it's the same thing with like music and DMCA, okay? Where a lot of streamers knew that it wasn't technically allowed, but because it never got enforced, streamers were just fine going on playing copyright music. And now that it's a thing, you know, now it's a problem. Now it's a big problem. So, you know, who's to say that this isn't next? Here's the thing about what streaming is becoming, is it's becoming very mainstream. It's becoming very big. I mean, this is something that millions and millions of people do and watch. It's something that the government pays attention to now. Big companies pay attention to. And it's kind of, you know, streaming has been for a long time the Wild West, right? Like where there weren't really that many rules and there's not that much consistency and like, you know, this a certain way of doing things. And that's, you know, that's waning at this point. As streaming continues to grow, it's going to become more regulated. And, you know, as someone who started streaming 6 years ago, it definitely sucks. It definitely becomes less fun because there's so many more things to worry about because there's a lot more things that are getting enforced and paid attention to. But yeah, that's kind of where we're going with streaming. Like, you know, having to be conscious of the music that you're picking, the emotes, the alerts, you know, how your stream, what goes on your stream, what you show on your stream. It's only going to get more regulated as time goes on too. So streaming is going to continue to shift. So TLDR, you know, the lawyers say keep chat off screen. As a streamer, I say be aware of the risk. If you're a small streamer, your risks are so small. And, you know, just consider, like, if you are storing VODs, like, definitely consider if you're showing chat or not. Like, if I was showing chat during all my playthroughs and stuff, like, all the time, that is something where I'd be like, okay, this could be a huge problem. I have 6 years of VODs on YouTube, hundreds and hundreds of hours of content. Like, it would be impossible to go through that all. But because the content that I do keep with chat on the screen is so small, that risk is even smaller. That being said, there's also the interesting dynamic of, like, if a viewer, in my opinion, if a viewer were to, like, enforce that for whatever reason, like, I would probably ban them from my chat, not as a punishment, but as, like, a precaution for the future of, like, okay, you don't want your info in chat. I can't, even if you say, okay, now I'm fine, now just remove everything in the past and going forward, it's fine. It wouldn't make sense for me to take that risk, right? Like I would just have to remove your ability to speak in the chat. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can maybe get some time from Noah, maybe like 15-30 minutes to talk about this a little bit more, clear things up, get a better explanation, and really dive into this. So I'm gonna see if I can get him on the show. If I can, I will definitely tweet it out and let you guys know. And it'll be during, you know, Monday through Friday, probably around, like, usually around this time, like 12 or 1 p.m. Eastern time. And to mute all EU users starting with frostbite. I need to go. Dan, you're not even from the EU, so you're fine. So yeah, we'll follow up on this and see what comes out of this. This is, like, again, it's super preliminary. It's not like a now thing, but it's something just keep in your mind, okay?